Welcome to Expert Joomla Design. Today we're going to talk about HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language. We're going to go over the fundamentals of HTML and understanding how HTML works. So what I've done to prepare is I've created a folder on the desktop called Website. Inside this folder is another folder called Images, where I've placed the logo, the Expert Joomla Design logo. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this website folder open to the left. And I'm going to go into Start, All Programs, Accessories, and then Notepad. When writing HTML, when you talk to the computer, if you will, you talk in characters such as these. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the HTML document by placing it inside of these characters, saying that this inside of these two characters is talking to the computer. And as always with HTML, you always want to end what you've started. Now HTML is very similar to writing a letter. What I like to do is space out the HTML because no matter how many spaces, it still shows up the same. We'll show you that here in a second. But it's similar to writing a letter, as in there's a head of the letter. You end the head, and there's a body. And you end the body. Now anything inside these characters has to be typed exactly correct. Whatever's outside of it can be typed however you want, because that's what's displayed on the page. So let me just type hello world. We're going to give it a title. You always place the title inside the head of the document. Title, my first web page. And the title. Now you've created your first HTML document. So what we're going to do is we're going to save as. You're going to go into the desktop, go into the website folder created next to the images right here. And we're going to save it as an index.html, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Go ahead and save it. And as you notice, a web page popped up inside that folder. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and as you see, it says hello world. And in the title, it says my first web page. Also says it here at the top. Now I'm going to minimize it down so you can see as we make the changes here. I'm going to move this over to the right and pull up the notepad up over here on the left. Now, you can actually do some interesting things like change the text. Let's make the text bold. So we're opening, close the bold character, save it, and refresh. Notice the text got bold. Or you could change this text, make it an H1, which stands for heading text. There's H1, H2, H3. Now H1 is traditionally the biggest. And you can actually adjust that in cascading style sheets, which we'll talk further on in later lessons. So I'm also going to add a paragraph here, P. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up what's called lorem ipsum, which is filler text. And as a web developer, go to lipsum.org. What this does, this allows you to get filler text that gives you an idea of what the paragraph would look like. So let's just say we're going to get one paragraph, lorem ipsum, generate the lorem ipsum, and you copy this code from the top to the bottom. Place it inside the P tag for a paragraph, and then end the paragraph. Alright, we're going to save this document and pull it up so you can see everything written in the document. We're going to refresh it on this side, and you notice the paragraph is inside that. Alright, now we've also added an images folder. Inside the images folder, we've placed logo.jpg for a JPEG. So to place the image on your document, what you need to do is give it a source. Now notice, however many times I space this down, I save it, it still stays the same in the document. So spacing out your stuff can help you to remember exactly where your coding is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the image space source, img space src equals. Now it's inside the images folder, so we're going to type images / the name of the image, logo.jpg. We're going to save this and we're going to refresh it. You notice the image shows up right there on the page. Now what I want to do is I want to hyperlink a link, maybe a link with the image. So I'm going to add a break tag, br / for a break, and I'm going to type www.expertjoomladesign.com. Now I'm going to link both the image and the text below it to expertjoomladesign.com. What I do is I add a reference, hyperreference equals http / www.expertjoomladesign.com. And of course, at the bottom of this text, I'm going to end that reference. Let's save it. Let's see what it looks like. Awesome. It's linked. Place the link, takes you right to expertjoomladesign.com. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the border off of this image. So image space border equals 0. Refresh it. There is no border. Now the difference between the body and the head of the document is anything inside the body, from the body tag to the close of the body tag, is what you see on the page. Anything in the head of the document is a reference to maybe JavaScript or cascading style sheets or meta tags. So let me type a few meta tags to show you what I'm talking about. So meta name equals description, content equals this is my first website. I learned to design it with expert Joomla design.com, and you close it out. Then you do another meta tag, meta space name equals keywords, content equals website, homepage, learn website design. I'm going to end the keywords. I'm going to save it. And guess what? You don't notice any changes. Now, what the description and keywords are for the search engines. We'll go into that a little bit more with our search engine optimization training. But to give you a quick example, if I go to google.com and we search for the word ellipticals. Now we're going to notice anybody who's come up towards the top for ellipticals, this is their description, and the keywords was found through the keywords of the site. And this text right here is the title text. So let's say it's a Precore elliptical. Search the word Precore. We'll notice Precore.com, and then here's a website that we've developed, eonfitness.com. And if I view the source of this page, right click, view page source, you're going to notice meta tags right here. Author, myself, Nicholas Fordham. All right, that's your overview of the basics of HTML hypertext markup language. Remember always to keep an eye on the spelling of everything in your characters when you're working on any HTML. Dreamweaver does this job for you. We'll get into that a little bit more in depth later on, but it's a good idea to understand HTML as a language to know when to fix problems. Thanks again for watching us here at expertjoomladesign.com. For more classes and to learn how to build fully database-driven websites through the power of Joomla, come to expertjoomladesign.com.